Good day, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining us for the first time. Thanks for coming by and checking out the Market Chameleon live webinar series. Before we get started, let's take a look at the shared disclaimer. Please be aware that neither Market Chameleon, Dimitri, or myself are registered investment advisors or a broker-dealer. If you're searching for investment advice, please reach out to a licensed professional. This webinar, as all our webinars and shows, are for informational purposes only concerning Market Chameleon tools and products. With that, one last look at the disclaimer, and let's welcome Dimitri Pargamonic to the stage. We'll be talking about screening call spreads by potential payoffs. Welcome, D. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Great. Let me share your screen. There's the
Good
Market
morning, everyone.
page.
And first, let me navigate to the call screener, and then we'll discuss the parameters we're going to use to screen out call spreads, and we're going to use potential payoffs to narrow down different combinations. Well, let's first navigate to it. So up top, you see the main menu under screeners. We're going to go to bull call spreads. Click on that. That will take us to our call spread screener. And you can see we have these filters up top with different tabs for our filters. And then we have the data elements below. These also have different tabs. So what we're going to do is, before we screen, actually, in case you're looking at this for the first time, in this data table, you could see that we have lots of different potential call spread combinations, because when we're talking about a call spread, you have one strike. When you're buying a call on one strike, you're selling a call on a higher strike in this situation, because we're looking at bull call spreads in the same expiration. So even if we are looking within the same expiration, like here, November 21st, you could see there are different combinations. Here's buying a 220 call, selling a 225 call, buying a 225 call, selling a 230 call. So lots of different potential combinations. And if you go and look at different expirations, that will just add to all these different call spreads to analyze. So when we're trying to analyze different call spreads, and you could see here just in NVIDIA alone, this is sorted by its market cap, has many different combinations. So if we tab through it, there's over 1,500 pages and over 39,000 call spreads just in the November 21st expiration in our table. So what we're going to do is, first, I'm going to expand the different expirations. So I'm going to click on this. And we're going to go to show me different call spreads that expire within the next 30 days. So if we click on that, this is going to actually increase the potential call spreads that we're analyzing. Right now we're at 39,000. Now we have 114,000. So of course, when you have so many different call spreads, you want to start narrowing them down for further analysis, and you might want to use different filters and parameters to do that. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go over here, see all these tabs to different strategy payoffs. Okay. And what the strategy payoff does is it looks at the call spread. All right. Like in this situation, the 220, 225 call spread, November 21st. And it says, okay, if we do shock the stock, if we say if the stock went up and reached this point at expiration, what would the payoff be? If it went down, what would the payoff be? And by filtering that, we might have a certain type of outlook that we're looking for, and we want to look a minimum return, maybe, maximum loss or somewhere given these scenarios. But there are lots of different scenarios, right? The stock could be anywhere. Right now, NVIDIA is up 186.25, but November 21st, we have some time. We don't know where the stock will be, so we're going to give it some different points based on stock moves using data, and see, well, what would this call spread return. So one way we could look at it is, what if the stock moved up one standard deviation or down one standard deviation, right? So that would be one way to look at the potential payoff of this. So we could see here that this call spread over here, it's way out of the money. We're talking about, it would have to go, for this call spread to be to fully maximize the payoff, the stock would have to go above $225. Then this call spread would be worth $5. But the stock's 186 and a quarter. So you got a long way to go here. And this call spread is not that it's 35 cents, and the potential payoff is big, but you could see that this would have to go up a lot, right? And that's why when we come back to the strategy payoff, you could see that even if the stock went up one standard deviation, the payoff would still, these would be out of the money. So at expiration, even if the stock went up one standard deviation, it would still be out of the money, and you would not recover anything. It would be 100% loss. Okay. If it's down one standard deviation, also all these would be out of the money, and it would be 100% loss on that, whatever you paid, the 35 cents debit in this situation. So here it doesn't look good. It needs to really go up more than this one standard deviation. We also have different moves here that we could screen by. One is, well, what does the stock usually move based on seasonality? If we looked at historical seasonality between, today's date, November 21st, and if we looked at the average move up or the average move down, what would the payoff be, right? So you still have 100% losses. And if you wanted to see that, we could look over here at historical seasonality, right? So in November, in NVIDIA, if we took similar situations, right, the last 12 years, 83% of the time it was higher. So the 16% lower, the average season move was up 10%. But even if we gave it a 10% move up, right, from 186, it would not be enough, right? It would not be enough to make this in the money. So that's why we're seeing you're still not getting any payoff, right? 100% loss in whatever you paid for that spread, right? What if we just split up the moves, the up moves and down moves, right? So we didn't average. This is the average of all the moves up and down. But what if we said we think it's going to be more likely up, and when it's up, right, what is that on average? How does it go up, right? Removing all the down moves, just looking at up moves. Well, that was 15.4%. Average move up, average move down, right? It just happened to be up more often. But even if we just took the average move up 15%, still not enough here. So you could see it does need to go up a significant amount, right? So that's what this is, the average seasonal move, right? Average seasonal move up, then you have the average season move down. And we could do the same thing for just average move if in a similar situation, not seasonal, but just looking at a historical distribution, saying, okay, we have 20 days to go, trading days. There's earnings, right? So if we looked at similar situations in the last 16 observations, because earnings, we have less observations, they only happen 4 times a year. You could see here's the average move up, down. And even in these cases, these are all down. So this is kind of like quick reference points to look at moves and give scenarios. But let's say we wanted to filter out now a scenario where if the stock was up 1 standard deviation, right, from now to expiration, the stock moves up 1 standard deviation because we might be bullish on the market, maybe we have this outlook, we're looking for a certain minimal return. So let's do that. We're going to go here, payoffs at expiration, the tab, right? And we have these different standard deviation, historical seasonality, and historical moves, holding periods. So let's look at this one first, up 1 standard deviation. Let's just say if it's up 1 standard deviation, we want a 50% return at least, above 50%. So now it's going to go and screen out call spread setups that if we're up 1 standard deviation, here's an NVIDIA, so the 202, 205 call spread. If we're up 1 standard deviation, the return will be at least 50% or higher. So because you see here, that's a 284% return, right? So we could start, you could start your research from there. We could also look at maybe minimizing a down move. What if we said, okay, 50% on the up move, but let's say if it's down 1 standard deviation, what if it was down 1 standard deviation? We don't want to lose more than 10%. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if we can find those scenarios. Wait, the other way. Well, let's see any positive actually. Let's see if there are any places where it shows up where 1 standard deviation move would be at least break even or positive. Okay, so couldn't find any of those. Let's come back here. I'm going to just sort this for a second. So maybe that's too ambitious. All right, so nothing where we could gain over 50% to the upside. Well, here's 50% to the upside, but to the downside, you could see here still 43%. What if we do it the other way? What if we say we don't need a maximum gain right now? We just need any positive move up 1 standard deviation, right? And any positive move down 1 standard deviation. So as long as it stays within 1 standard deviation, up or down, we want a positive move. So here's one in Amazon, down 1 standard deviation. So the stock's 224. You could see it's in the money. So as long as it stays above 205, you could see we're up 14.9%. And even down 1 standard deviation, we're still in the money, up 14.9%. Okay, so we did find one of those. So that's a standard deviation move. We could also do the same thing with seasonality. Let's say we're more interested in a seasonal play, and we think that we're kind of in a market where the stocks are more likely to correlate to their historical seasonal move, right? That's our outlook. And based on that outlook, we're looking for scenarios where if it moves up its average seasonal move, we're looking for a return of, let's say, 50%. So by doing that, now we're going to filter out potential spreads. So we've got 27,000 where, if TLT does its average seasonal move, right? This is the average seasonal move up. This is 60%, 76, 76. So you can see these are now above 50. Okay. So with that, you could use a screener quickly to kind of first narrow down these candidates based on potential payoffs, right? And when we talk about potential payoffs, we do need to give it some points. Like, well, what if the stock does this or the stock does that? But every stock moves differently, has different volatilities. So we could use that specific stock historical stock moves or standard deviation move to look at that potential payoff at expiration and set parameters to narrow down our candidates to research. Will, I'll throw it back to you at this point. I think we covered all those parameters.
Yeah, D, that was another great webinar. You keep bringing them to the Market Chameleon community. Special thanks. Very much appreciated, my friend.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Stay safe out there. Have a great trading day. And we'll see you later this week.
Yep, we'll see you on Wednesday. Tomorrow I have an event I got to take care of in the morning, so I will put out a pre-recorded webinar for the Chameleon community. Thanks so much, D.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day, my friend. Bye-bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining the Market Chameleon webinar series. We do have a webinar live at 4:30 today with Ryan. I put the link in the chat. Tomorrow you'll get an email with a pre-recorded webinar, which will be super helpful. You can watch that at your convenience, and then we'll see you live on Wednesday. So everyone have a safe, great trading day out there, and we will see you hopefully at 4:30. If not, we'll see you live on Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.